Okay, time for a new video, and whether you are somebody new to my channel or you are returning to my channel to watch this video, it is greatly appreciated. As always, I'm filming this in one go, so if I stumble over my words going forward, so I apologise in advance. And indeed, if the quality of this video is fairly poor as well, if there's any lag, anything like that at all, sadly it cannot be helped, and hopefully it's not too much of an issue for you. Today is yet another Eurovision related video here on my channel. Last time out I talked about my personal winners of the Eurovision Song Contest, from the very first one in Lugano in 1956, right up to and including 2020, even though the 2020 contest, as we all know, did not actually take place. What a great shame. Today, something similar. I'm going to be talking about my personal runners-up of the Eurovision Song Contest, but only within my lifetime. So that's 1993 to 2020. Now, the reason that I'm not going to be doing this from 1956 to the present day is because I don't actually have personal rankings of the songs in all the contests. Certainly not from 1956 to 1991. The story is pretty simple. Several years ago, I sort of went through all of the songs that there's been in Eurovision in my lifetime and ranked them, but I never did the contests pre the year of my birth. I have been meaning to do it. It is very slow going. I have 1992 sorted, but nothing pre that. I have personal winners, and I suppose I have some personal runners-up and third places and last places and things like that, but nothing concrete, if you see what I mean. So it's only going to be from 1993 to the present day. I just want to clear that up. So, my personal winner in 1993 was the Netherlands. If you've seen my previous video, you'll know that. Should also say, just before I get into this, as always, links to my other social media pages in the description below, and feel free to leave your own thoughts and comments in the comments section below as well, of course. So, my runner-up in 1993 was the real-life runner-up as well. This was the UK. No country has finished in second place more times than the United Kingdom, 15 times I believe, which is just extraordinary and unthinkable these days. The UK in second place, unheard of. But anyway, in 1993 in Mill Street in Ireland, it was Sonia. I don't think Sonia has done a whole lot since 1993. I think she had a couple of hit singles, she's done a bit of reality TV I think, but certainly has never truly set the charts alight. Certainly not within the past 15 years or so. Anyway, Better the Devil You Know. This was up-tempo, almost disco pop, lots of flashing lights. I think she was in a purple outfit, which didn't look that amazing. I think she had ginger hair as well. She was quite young at the time, but it was a very lively performance, and it wasn't terribly far away from winning. It was just the fact that Niamh Kavanagh for Ireland was just a bit too strong that year. This song's fine, but I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of it, even though it is my runner-up for 1993. 1994, my runner-up is the song that finished third that year, and it's Germany. And this is still my highest-ranked German entry of my lifetime so far. And it was when I was 1. So Germany need to up their game a little bit, as far as I'm concerned. This was a trio of young women called Mikado. Don't think they're still together. If they're doing solo material, I really ought to do my research, but feel free to let me know in the comments. This song was called Wir geben eine Party, which pretty much translates as we're giving a party, we're throwing a party. And this was just 3 minutes of pure, silly fun. You had the drummer in the back with a goofy grin on their face. There was a little bit of choreography, but nothing over the top. It was just a really catchy, well-performed tune, and third place for this, you could argue it's quite generous, but in my opinion, very well deserved. And Bernd Meininger and Ralf Siegel did the music and lyrics for this, two giants with regards to Eurovision songwriting. They wrote the first German winner for Nicole, of course, and I think I read a couple of years ago that their intention with this song was to make it almost a blend of German and English. So even if you didn't speak German, you could pretty much understand what the girls were singing. But a really great song, my second place. 1995, my runner-up is the real-life runner-up. This is Spain. And again, Spain in second place. It's just unthinkable these days, sadly. But this is Annabel Conde, who would return in 2005 as a backing vocalist for Andorra. Fun fact if you didn't know. But anyway, this song, Vuelve Conmigo, Come Back to Me, and this is such a powerful tune. It is a song that really packs a punch. She did have some backing vocalists, but the emphasis was very much on her. She was wearing this quite plain dress, all about the vocals. Maybe a little bit shouty at times, but she belted this out. It is a fantastic vocal performance from Annabel, and certainly this song I think still very much loved today. Gotta move on. 1996, my runner-up was the real-life winner. This is Ireland and Emma Quinn with The Voice. Now I think Emma was quite quiet for a number of years. I actually think she went back to her job pre-Eurovision after she won the contest. I could be wrong though. But certainly in the past few years, I think she's made a few more appearances. She performed in Amsterdam during this Dutch Eurovision special. Like, I don't know how long ago it was, but she was there, I believe. This song, I feel it's a bit underrated, even though it was the actual winner. It's the last time Ireland won, 96. And this is a very, very dreamy song. It's haunting, high-pitched vocals. She was in a white dress, a whiff of the Celtic about it, and this is such a very strong song, and it's not a surprise it won. In fact, if you take a look at the results from 1996, the top 3 songs, they're all fairly similar. They've all got this sort of dreamy fairy tale thing going on. Really quite interesting actually to have 3 songs like that as the top 3. But anyway, Ireland, my runner-up in 1996. In 1997, in Dublin, my runner-up is a huge fan favourite. It finished in 3rd place in real life. This is Turkey, and it's Şebnem Pakır and Grup Ethnik with Dinle, which means listen. And this definitely has an Eastern tinge to it, if you see what I mean. I mean, you only have to listen to the first 30 seconds, and you'll think, ooh, you know, that sounds as though it could be from somewhere like Turkey. Oh yes, as a matter of fact, it is. Şebnem had represented Turkey the year before with Besinci Mevsim, which finished sort of in mid-table, and that's an alright song. This, on the other hand, it's just really great. There is such a good beat to this. It's just really easy to get into, and even if you don't know Turkish, you just sort of find yourself humming along with it. It's one of the best songs Turkey ever sent. And if they came back with something like this, I think they'd push for the win again. I really do. She was in this black, sort of slinky outfit, whole group of people around her pretending to play the instruments. And yeah, just really, really great. Turkey was my number 3 for some time. And then I think about 2 or 3 years ago, I boosted it up to number 2. 1998... my winner is a song that didn't do that well at all, actually. Did I just say my winner? I mean, my runner-up in 1998 is a song that did not do terribly well. And I'm just checking the exact result. This was in Birmingham, and it's the song that finished joint 12th. Actually, not as bad as I thought. 36 points. This is Estonia, and it's Koit Tuma, who would be back with Laura in Kiev in 2017 with Verona, which obviously did not qualify for the final, which was quite shocking at the time. But anyway, I'm talking about 1998. This is Merelapsed, which roughly translates as Children of the Sea, I believe. And this song, it's just Koit. I think he was probably barely 20 years old at the time, sitting behind a piano, and it's a very sweet ballad. Minimal lighting, nothing really extravagant about the performance, nothing really memorable about it, but it's just a really calming, pretty song, which I think has been long forgotten by Eurovision fans. Yes, really nice song. What else is there to say? 1999, my runner-up is the real-life runner-up, Iceland. Iceland so close to winning at the end of the last century, but Sweden just pulled ahead at the death. This is Selma, who would be back in 2005 with If I Had Your Love. in Kiev, a much weaker tune that didn't get out of the semi-final. This, All Out of Luck, this is just pure pop, almost bubblegum pop in a way. Certainly I imagine a lot of teens really enjoyed this performance at the time because it just strikes me as the sort of performance that they would be into. Two guys dancing with her, and yeah, this is a very happy song. Second place for this, maybe you could say that's a little overrated, but given the other songs that there were in that Jerusalem contest, I think second place is deserved for this. It is still one of Iceland's best results. 2000, my runner-up, the real-life runner-up, this is Russia. Their best result at the time. This is Alsu, who would go on to co-host the final in Moscow in 2009. I think this song charted in the top 100 in the UK, which is quite impressive actually, considering it didn't win. I'm just going to check here. But yeah, Alsu was very young at the time. I think she was 16. She was wearing a fairly skimpy outfit. She had two guys with her. You had those moving screens as well behind her. Yeah, I mean, she had quite a lot of success very early on in her career. She's 36 now. Oh no, she had another song a year later called Before You Love Me, which I'm not terribly familiar with, but that charted at number 27 in the UK apparently. So she certainly had success across the continent early on in her career. This song, Solo, it's a pop song, it's pretty good, but certainly I don't think strong enough to win, and obviously it didn't. 2001, my runner-up is the real-life runner-up, and I do want to say the difference between my personal winner in 2001, which is the real-life winner, Estonia, and the real-life runner-up, and my personal runner-up, Denmark here, it's exceptionally close. It really is. I think in a few years, Denmark could be my winner 2 years in a row. We'll see. Rollo and King with Never Ever Let You Go. This song, sort of country, actually. Guy playing the harmonica, I think it was. Guy and a girl telling a story on that huge stage at the Parken, which is Denmark's national football stadium. Just vast, vast arena, 30,000 plus people. But this was a really good song. And if Denmark had won for the second year in a row, I don't think anybody would have been mad about it, because this is actually really quite likeable. And I think I've said this before, what I remember about this song is not actually to do with the song at all, but it's during the voting. And obviously every time Denmark got 12 points or 10 points, there would be this enormous cheer from that huge crowd. But also they'd zoom in on Rollo, because I think he was the chap, just sort of puffing away on a fag in the background, you know, working his way through a pack of cigarettes, no doubt. And, I mean, that's obviously quite strange. We don't get that anymore, people smoking at Eurovision. But yeah, Denmark, my runner-up and the real-life runner-up in 2001. Really great song. My runner-up in 2002, the real-life runner-up, Malta. So close to winning. But right at the death, Latvia just pulled ahead. And of course, Lithuania, Latvia's neighbours, were the last country to vote in 2002, so that put the kibosh on Malta winning, let's be honest. Ira Losko, who would be back in 2016 with Walk on Water, which is a weaker song, in my opinion. Seventh Wonder is just a really cute little song. She blew glitter towards the camera at one point, and again, hard to dislike this. Maybe it's a bit too simplistic and maybe a bit too cutesy, but I think it's a really nice, pleasant song. There's a springy, summery feel to it. Really lovely stuff. And I just imagine that during the voting procedure in 2002, everybody in Malta who was watching was like, oh my god, we're finally going to win. And they didn't. Great shame. Arguably stronger than the winning song. 2003, my winner was Iceland, but my runner-up was Norway, and this is Jostein Hasselgaard with I'm Not Afraid to Move On. Now, I think he's really sort of faded into the background over the years. He's still doing music, but you can't find a whole lot about him online. But anyway, He was quite young in 2003, sort of a floppy-haired teen. I think he must have been a teenager still, sitting behind a piano, very similar to Koit Tume from 1998, actually. This song, the lyrics are nothing original, certainly nothing we haven't heard before, but this was, again, really quite sweet. A really lovely ballad. It didn't stand out a huge amount from the field, but then again, in 2003 we had a lot of upbeat songs. So maybe it did stand out more than I'm saying it did, or didn't rather. This is just a great tune. I've always liked it, and it finished 4th in real life. It was leading the voting for quite some time and then faded away. 2004, my runner-up is the real life winner. Do I really need to say too much about this? No, it's Ruslana with Wild Dances, mega famous in her homeland, even before Eurovision, I believe. This was obviously inspired by Xena Warrior Princess, things like that. You know, whips and chains, and such a high energy performance, totally unique, very striking. And considering that this was Ukraine's second ever Eurovision entry, they just brought their A game. They came to Istanbul to win, and they did. Not by a huge margin, but win they did. And, I mean, the performance still holds up now. You watch it back, and if we had something like that in Eurovision next year, we'd be saying it could be a potential winner. I mean, for me, obviously Ukraine have won twice. This is considerably better than 1944. More memorable than 1944. Then again, you can't really compare the two because they're two very different songs, but anyway, those are my thoughts. Now, 2005 now, yes indeed. My runner-up is the song that finished, I want to say, 9th, joint 9th, 8th, doesn't really matter. Certainly just inside the top 10, it's Switzerland. And this is Vanilla Ninja with Cool Vibes, an all-Estonian girl group for Switzerland, because that's what you do, of course. If this had been the Estonian entry, well, it might have been a different story, who knows. But yeah, Estonia that year actually had another girl group and didn't qualify. So probably should have been the other way around, maybe? I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, this song, Cool Vibes, it's a rock number. And my winner in 2005 is also a rock song in the form of Wigwam for Norway. But this entry, Cool Vibes, I mean, it's quite an ominous, dark song, quite an angry song. The lead singer, Lena Kurma, who's tried to represent Estonia many times since, I think she had only just turned 16 when she performed this song with the other members of the group in 2005. So it was quite remarkable, actually, that they performed this really well, really professionally. The staging, yes, okay, nothing truly remarkable going on. It was quite plain and simple, really, what you would expect. But a really strong song. Simple as that. And Vanilla Ninja had tried to represent Estonia, I think it was the year before, with a song called Club Kung Fu, which is well worth checking out because it is quite the interesting tune and national final performance. And there was quite some controversy because the juries in Eesti Laul that year totally dismissed it, whereas it was the public favourite, I think. Anyway, I'm going off on such a massive ramble. If you're new to my channel, this is nothing new at all, I'm telling you now. But Vanilla Ninja, Cool Vibes, Switzerland, my runner-up in 2005, great rock song. 2006, this might surprise you. My runner-up is Denmark, and this is a song that really was nowhere in the voting, finished quite low down, didn't get many points at all. This is Sidsel Ben Samani, who was about 17 or 18 at the time. I believe she's still making music. This is Twist of Love. And yeah, I mean, it was the Twist returning to Eurovision, of all places. She had a couple of other female singers with her on stage, and then a guy who was really going for it with the dancing in the latter stages of the song. Very catchy. I've always liked it. It's not one of my absolute favourite personal runners-up, but I still think it's a pretty good song and fairly underrated on the night. Moving on to 2007, my runner-up is the real-life winner, Serbia. Marija Šerifović with Molitva, which means prayer. I don't need to say too much about this. It is one of the finest ballads I've ever seen at Eurovision, watching it on TV, that is. Fantastic vocals, really simple but effective performance. And if you saw the Eurovision Europe Shine a Light replacement programme the other week, at the time of recording this, surely you'll agree with me that it's such a powerful song. There she was, the empty streets of Belgrade. It was really poignant and really touching and really struck a chord with me. And wow, Serbia have never been better. Will they ever be better? That's the question. And this was their debut as an independent country. Remarkable. 2008. My runner-up is a bit of a crazy number. It is Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yes, indeed. It's not often, actually, that a Balkan nation finishes really high up for me, but we had Serbia the year before, and now Bosnia and Herzegovina. This is Laka with Pokušaj, which I believe translates as try, and it was a guy and a girl, mainly the guy doing all the work. He was in a stripy top. At one point he was hiding in a basket of laundry. There was a washing line. There were women off to one side who I think were pretending to knit. The female had this massive skirt on. It was all over the it was all over the place. Very different, very standout, very unique. And this was obviously going to do well because neutral viewers were going to watch it and think, this is quite humorous. I might just, ring up and vote for it. And then obviously all the countries around Bosnia were probably going to think, yeah, we like this too. This is our type of music, maybe. It finished 9th, I want to say, in the end. Very respectable. This was never going to push for the win. But in terms of memorability, I think this is fairly high up on the list. My word, I'm rambling. I do apologise again. 2009, my runner-up is a song that didn't even qualify. This was in semi-final 2. I very much remember watching the music video for this at school during my lunch break. This is when I was starting to really pay attention to Eurovision. It's Ireland, Sinead Mulvey and Black Daisy with Etc. And this is essentially pop rock. Group of females. The lead female, Sinead, sort of wearing a black jacket and sort of trousers with holes in. I'm not describing this terribly well, but if you've seen the performance, you'll know. I just thought this was really good, really catchy, my type of music. Certainly this is the sort of stuff that I listened to a lot back in the day, and I was really disappointed it didn't qualify. It's my personal runner-up from Moscow 2009. 2010. It was a song that I'll mention in a future video. But now, it is Belgium, my personal runner-up. And it's worth saying that Tom Dice, with me and my guitar, he, I believe, won the jury vote in the first semi-final and won that semi-final overall, if I recall correctly. And then in the final, he was very nearly the jury winner, ahead of Lena for Germany. But it was the public who really let him down, which I think is a great, great shame. This is a long-forgotten Belgian entry. People talk about Loic Notte and Blanche, but not Tom Dice, even though he did really well. The top 10 in 2010, apart from Germany, who raced ahead of everybody, and I suppose Turkey too, it was very, very close in terms of the points. Belgium could easily have finished as high as 3rd, and easily several places lower. This song, he was on the catwalk, sort of golden lighting, pretending to play the guitar, just very sweet, very charming, very likeable, beautiful in its simplicity, and in all honesty deserved to finish maybe 1 or 2 places higher. Let me know your thoughts on that. I think he finished 6th in the end. My runner-up in 2011 is Denmark. This used to be my 3rd place, but not so long ago it moved up to 2nd. Denmark, again, this is a song that the juries really liked, but the public really didn't, particularly in the final. A friend in London, they're no longer together, but the lead singer has gone on to have a solo career and has written songs that have been in contention for Eurovision since. This is New Tomorrow, and I suppose this was a somewhat contemporary, slightly rockish song way back in the day. All I really remember about this, because it's been a while since I saw the performance, is that he, the lead singer Tim, was wearing an outfit where pretty much his whole back was exposed, and then he booted this huge inflatable ball into the crowd, ran out on the catwalk, and then ran all the way back. This is a really good song. Lyrically, nothing amazing, but catchy, stuck in your head. I think the issue with this is that it was on early, therefore people forgot about it. I'm actually going to check because it will annoy me otherwise. Eurovision 2011. But this was fantastic. And I should say as well, I would make a video all about this, but I think it would just be too difficult maybe. I'd have to really do my research. But I know in Dansk Melodi Grand Prix in 2011, the runner-up, I believe it was Anne Noah with Sleepless, which is maybe my all-time favourite national final song. I don't know though, because back in 2011 I wasn't really paying too much attention to the national finals. It would only be about 2 years later maybe. But anyway, what am I doing? A Friend in London. Yes, fantastic. 3rd in the jury vote in the final. 18th with the public. Absolutely diabolical. This is why you need the juries, ladies and gentlemen, to stop outrageous results like that. 2012 in Baku, my runner-up, Estonia. I think this finished 6th. It was well behind in the voting and then surged up. This is one of the finest male voices we've maybe ever had at Eurovision. Big thing to say, certainly within the past 10 years. This is Oit Lepland with Kuula, a song in Estonian, always good. Kuula means listen. And just amazing vocals. He stood there, barely moved. He was wearing a sort of greyish waistcoat, and it was very simple, all about the voice, and boy, could this man sing. I need to check out some more of his recent stuff. If he came back for Estonia, I'd be very excited. And given some of their patchy results over the past few years, I think him coming back would not be a bad thing. I don't really have much to say about this. Just brilliant. You can really appreciate the voice, and the song's really great. It builds up, and then he just belts out this big long note, and then it ends very beautifully. Fantastic. My runner-up in 2013, the song that finished 4th in real life, Norway. This is Margaret Berger. Need to check out some more of her recent stuff. Long, very blonde hair. I Feed You My Love. She was in a white outfit. And this song, very cool and interesting, and maybe a bit too modern, maybe, for Eurovision. I know that sounds very strange, but you'll know what I mean. This song was a big fan favourite, and I think is still well liked by a lot of Eurovision fans. It was on late in the running order, and I don't know, this could have gone either way. I mean, during the final, I remember thinking, this might not do terribly well with the juries. They might not appreciate it. Maybe it's a bit too out there for the juries, if you see what I mean. But in the end, no. Margaret finished 4th, and I think that's well deserved. This was definitely one of the stronger songs of the 2013 contest. If I just take a look at the split results here, Norway were 4th in the jury vote and 6th with the public. So actually, the juries appreciated I Feed You My Love slightly more than the viewers. I completely forgot about that. Very interesting indeed. What do you know? What do you know? But 4th overall, 191 points, really fantastic. I've got to move on. My runner-up in 2014 is Spain. This is Ruth Lorenzo, who several years before had appeared on our version of the X Factor, which is a singing contest. Other countries have it as well. This is Dancing in the Rain. The music video is great, and I just liked this song more and more every time I heard it. Amazing vocals, very simple staging. She had this sort of wet hair thing going on, and you had that rainfall effect at the start of the song, the sound of rainfall, and then that massive note towards the end, and that massive block of white on the LED screen. Just fantastic. Again, a song that's all about the vocals, really. You have to appreciate the vocals. And you know what I'm going to say here, because I've already said it about several other songs. It was the public who let her down. This is why you need the juries, ladies and gentlemen. I'm taking a look at the split results here, and I'm about to be absolutely disgusted once again. Spain, 11th with the juries. That's actually fairly disappointing. And then 15th with the public. Outrageous. Outrageous. You're telling me that Cheesecake was better than Dancing in the Rain in 2014? No, no, no. No, no, no. 41 points. Abysmal. I don't know what Europe were thinking. Anyway, 2015. My word, this is a strong top 3 for me. My winner's Estonia, by the way. But my runner-up, Norway. Another male-female duo. This is Mørland and Deborah Scarlett. Now, Mørland is incapable of writing a bad song. He's tried to represent Norway since. He wrote a song for a female called Rebecca the other year, which lost out to Alexander Rybak. Shock horror. Hopefully she comes back at some point. Brilliant song that was. He tried to represent Norway with En Livred Man. Didn't even make the final 4. Norway, I don't know what they were thinking that year. And then, well, that was last year, wasn't it, with Kano? Fair enough. And then he was one of the writers for Ulrika this year, but sadly we will not get to hear her song on the Eurovision stage. Anyway, he teamed up with Deborah Scarlett, who now makes music under the pseudonym Red Moon. This song, A Monster Like Me, just brilliant, captivating, tells a story. We don't know what he did in his early youth, built up nicely, quite mysterious, and again, nothing truly spectacular, but really, really just held your attention. At least I think so. And it finished about 8th, I want to say, which is fairly low, well off the main 3 that year. My runner-up in 2016, I love this song. It is Francesca Michelin for Italy and No Degree of Separation, Nessun Grado di Separazione. This was not supposed to be a Eurovision entry for Italy because in Sanremo a band called Stadio won. They said we don't want to do it, so Francesca, the runner-up, stepped in, or was asked to do it by the Italian broadcaster. This song, I think, went over a lot of people's heads, and it was because of the staging. You had all these things around her, this fake patch of grass, glasses, balloons, holding out. Was it an apple she was holding out? Can't quite remember. She was wearing dungarees. This was just brilliant. I really liked it. The staging, not my favourite, it has to be said. I think it could have been a little bit different or just executed in a slightly different manner. But clearly a song with a message in English and Italian. The English didn't bother me. Really cute performer. I watched loads of interviews with her way back in the day. Some of her more recent music is very good. She's just released an album. This song, I really, really like it. Always have. And it was criminally underrated in the results. I think it finished about 16th. 2017, I'm going to rattle through these now. My runner-up, Belgium. It finished 4th. And this song, everybody was saying, oh my word, she's so shy, she can't sing live, she's so nervous, this isn't going to qualify. No way, not going to qualify. Oh, would you look at that, it's finished 4th. Shows what we know. This song is brilliant. So modern. If Belgium need to send something like this again, they need to send Blanche. She's releasing an album very soon. She's been releasing snippets of all the songs off that album. My word, does it sound good. Really hypnotic and strange and cool and just really, really modern and fresh. And this song, Blanche, real name Ellie Delvaux, fantastic. She was nervous, but I think she saved her best performance for the grand final. Surrey, UK 2018, one of the backing vocalists. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Yeah, this is a very cool song. Builds up nicely. In the music video, there's this glowing ball that's flying around all these buildings. I'm not describing this very well at all. But, oh man, I love City Lights. I listened to it earlier, actually, as a matter of fact. Fantastic song. My runner-up in 2018, the Netherlands. This didn't do terribly well. I think the staging put a lot of people off. It's Waylon, back for another bite of the Eurovision cherry, having finished in 2nd place with the Common Linnets in Copenhagen in 2014. This is Outlaw Inham. This is sort of country rock. He was wearing a hat, his name on the guitar strap, bunch of people around him on stage. They were crunking, I believe it's called. It just didn't need to be there, really. He didn't need to have any choreography at all, really. Sort of a blue colour scheme. This was not a massive fan favourite anyway, but I think the performance let him down. Great singer, but in the end just needed to be presented in a different manner. I really like it though. My runner-up from 2018. My runner-up last year, the actual winner, the Netherlands again, Duncan Lawrence, Arcade. I don't need to say too much about this. Beautiful ballad, again a again, a blue colour scheme. My word, I'm really rambling now. We all know it. Do I really need to say too much more? Not really. Won just ahead of Italy, was the favourite to win, the overwhelming favourite to win going into the contest, and he delivered, again, a light-up ball. Whatever. And then my runner-up this year, Australia. And I've seen the performance that she did during SBS's replacement show, and it was the staging as it would have been at the contest in Rotterdam. Montaigne's fantastic. She's about 24, blue hair. Does she have blue hair? Sort of blue hair. I can't quite remember. Anyway, yeah, this is fantastic, and her real name is Jessica, isn't it? But this song, Don't Break Me, yeah, the performance at the national final, it was a little bit messy maybe, trying to tell a story, wasn't quite coming across terribly well, was pretty much all one camera shot. The staging as it would have been at Eurovision, and it's well worth watching the performance online, just her, white outfit, and she's sort of moving about in this robotic, puppet-like motion for pretty much the whole song, and you've got these hands on the backdrop that are sort of moving her about. It's quite interactive. I think it would have been very interesting at Eurovision. Maybe they would have tried to make it a bit more 3D. I don't know. But this song, underrated by Eurovision fans, it has to be said. People saying that she can't sing. Well, she can sing, and I'm sure she would have delivered on that Eurovision stage. She'll be back next year. I'm really looking forward to it. And most of her other music is really good as well. I think she is a very promising talent indeed. Anyway, I'm going to shut up now. My word, what a ramble. Dear, dear me. But that's it. My personal runners-up of the Eurovision Song Contest from 1993 to 2020. And like I said at the start of this video, I'm working my way back, ranking the songs 1992, 1991, and so on. I think my runner-up for 1992, I've no idea. Oh, it's Iceland. It's Iceland. And then my runner-up for 1991, I think, is France. And my runner-up for 1990, I want to say that it's Denmark, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. If I do those lists, I might make a video about it anyway. I'll be back at some point talking about my personal third-placed entries from 1993 to 2020. Let me know your thoughts. I know I keep doing this, but I apologise for the rambling, and if the quality wasn't that great, I apologise for that too. Feel free to let me know anything at all in the comments, what you thought about this video. Do you agree? Do you disagree with me? I'll be back at some point soon. Until then, I am going to learn to stop going off on massive tangents. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate the support, and bye for now.